We all have different biases. I had this curious question that does our gender influence or say affect our design? Like for an example, if it is a public space which is meant for all the genders, right? So what would happen if it is designed by certain genders? Would it be more pleasing towards or say favoring towards certain genders when it is made for public in general? And searching about this thought, I stumbled upon a very nice research paper. When I read it, I just loved it. And many things made sense to me. And I know my audience, they all want some curious things to dwell upon. And this is exactly that how aesthetics change with respect to genders. So let's talk about it. At the risk of generalizing, females tends to like brighter colors, surface with details, curvy as opposed to straight lines, elements which blend with the surroundings. Against this, males prefer darker color, surface devoid of details, and so on. Elaborating more, male designers prefer to use more of straight aggressive lines, hard surfaces, a three-dimensional quality, large sizes, and a different use of colors. Whereas female designers use more of round fluent shapes, soft surfaces, details and patterns, and a less emphasis on three-dimensional quality. When I read that, I was like, huh, is it? In case of architecture, let's take two big names from each gender and take their work to see if this states true or not. In my mind, the first two names that kicked in was Zaha Hadid and Frank Gehry. These two have one interesting thing in common. Usually, people listen to materials, but in their cases, material listen to them. About their projects, both have used curves. Still, there is significant difference between them, as Zaha's design feel more soft in nature, whereas Frank's design is having more of aggressive lines and hard surfaces. The point is not to generalize or anything on that line. The point is to be aware of our biases or preferences so we can take better decisions regarding projects. Physiologically, men's preference for a wider vision or a three-dimensional vision can be related to the fact that men's eyes are 4 mm apart than women, as well as the fact the part of brain which is responsible for a wider vision, the inferior parietal lobe, is larger in men than women because their primary jobs required more of a wider vision for hunting. Moreover, women needed to work on close-ups more, so their instinct for color may relate to the much lower incidence of color blindness in women. Like legit, in 100 male and female, there would be 8 males who would be color blind. Against that, in women, there would be zero point 0.5 women who would be color blind. So just compare zero point 0.5 against 8%. It's interesting, just by this information, I had this curious thought that maybe men will do better as an architect where women can do better as interior designer. Maybe. Point is not to generalize or anything like that. The point is to leverage one's strength. Moreover, these are not the only factors which affect one's aesthetics and preferences. If boys and girls are exposed to different kind of objects in their early lives, then these objects could grow to influence their preferences. And personality also plays a major role in it. And there are many reasons that affect preferences and aesthetics too. Basically, nature and nurture, as said earlier, that knowing our biases would help us to manage and serve better. The process of drawing or designing has been described as process of projections. As Alfred Tournellet described, Artist does not see things as they are, but as he is. If you want to read that paper, link is in the description, and it's interesting how they were decoding which gender did the first art ever, like that caveman art. You will love it, and do share your thoughts in comments. Let's have conversation. This was it for this video. Meet you in another one. Till then,